Well, hello everyone. I'm here with Andrew Leonard, one and only the guy who makes commentary sounds like poem. And to each and every Nepal fans, he's that one guy. Not only they want to see him, but they want to hear him more than his face. So his voice is more valuable, I believe. Andrew, welcome and thank you so much for giving me your valuable time.
Mate, great to see you and great to be with you. And I think they want to hear me, not see me. Definitely got the face for radio, I think, and the voice. Hopefully the voice trains.
You've got a perfect voice.
No,
I
come
love your voice. I've been listening to your voice on reels as a voiceover.
Mate, stop. Come on. How are you? Nice to have you here in Nepal.
I'm fantastic. Nepal has been amazing. Like
Beautiful, isn't it?
beautiful day. People are equally beautiful, and they have been, the hospitality. They welcomed me like anything. So as you mentioned before I was here, you said be prepared. I was like, I'm prepared. You're like, no matter how prepared you are.
I said, no, mate, you're not going to understand what it's like. Look, it's been the most amazing month, hasn't it? I've loved every second. And fantastic to get your first trip to Nepal.
Yeah, and the wonderful day, final.
Grand final. Look, excited for it. A little bit kind of overwhelmed in terms of which way it's going to go. I don't really know. I think obviously Sudurpaschim are favourites, there's no doubt about that. But look, the run that the Lions have got on has been exciting. It's been great to watch, and it's been what a fitting final. The national team captain against the national team vice captain.
Exactly.
Two sides in really good form, two excellent teams, and I have no idea who's going to win.
Okay, so I don't think there would be any better person than you to ask this question. Who are you rooting?
Well, definitely not. And actually, it's the one question I've been getting a lot throughout this journey of the last 30 days. I promise you, I know some people are saying, oh, you love Irie, or you love Paolo, or you love Ishan Pat. No, look, all the players, we just want them to do well. Yeah. We want the games to be close. We've been treated to a couple of really close games. I think we deserve one here in the final. I'm hoping it will be slightly higher scoring than some of the playoff games have been. Good weather the last couple of days for the grounds team to, I think we're going to be on the centre strip in the entire TU. But look, there's no doubt Sudurpaschim are favourites. There's a reason why they've won more games than anyone in this competition. Jagat Tamata deserves so much praise for his role as the coach. And the other thing I love, I know the Bharatnagar Kings were brilliant this season as well, but you've probably got the two most cricket-crazed parts of the country. Again, Janakpur and Bharatnagar will say, what about us or Chitwan or Karnali? But I think you think of all the players that have come from the Lumbini area and so many cities down there, down in the Terai region, and then out in Sudurpaschim, where it's an absolute obsession. I think it's such an exciting final, and I don't know how Paris Katka's done it, but he's written it up perfectly. Yeah, we've got a great final after the most fantastic season.
Exactly. So now that you mentioned about the high-scoring match, and if we look back, Lumbini has not been very good when it comes to scoring, putting up good score. And on the other side, Sudurpaschim have been brilliant. But then if we see both the captains, Irie has been people's favourite. We all know that. Rohit is under the question mark from a long time when it comes to captaincy. How do you see this entire frame? Rohit has to prove himself. He's already a captain, but still he has to prove himself, and everyone wants Irie to win so that they can all those who support Irie, they'll be like, yeah, I told you it's Irie. I told you it's Irie. It's not Rohit for T20, but for him it's a big day, especially for Rohit Patel.
Yeah, look, I'm not sure what more Rohit Patel can do to prove himself. He's the youngest captain in T20 World Cup history. He's been referred to by everyone who meets him as a wonderful statesman, a great young leader. And, his success here doesn't surprise me. His success with the national team, leading Nepal wonderfully well to beat West Indies for the first time, qualifying unbeaten for the T20 World Cup for a second consecutive event, the third in their history. Look, his leadership is second to none for me. That doesn't mean that Dipender Singh Ari is not a fantastic cricketer and a wonderful leader as well. I think Nepal are blessed to have those two in leadership roles for the national team. Whoever wins today, it's not going to change anything. It's not going to change, whether or not Patel is a better leader or Irie's a better leader. It will be a great game of cricket, I hope. And look, for me, I think we're in for a real treat. The two best sides in the competition are meeting in the grand final.
Definitely. Okay, if you look at both the sides, what do you think Sudurpaschim Royal has a slightly edge in? Bowling, batting, which area?
I just think as an all-round team.
True.
I think if anything, Lumbini might have the edge from a bowling perspective. My big question mark over Sudurpaschim in this final is the two players they brought in. So they've brought in two guys who, are experienced cricketers. Mukhtar Ahmed's now plying his trade in the United States. He's done okay in Major League Cricket across 3 seasons with the Washington Freedom, has won a title there. And they've also brought in Sheldon Jackson, who's got IPL experience. Right. He's over 7,000 first-class runs in the Ranji Trophy, but he's 39. And, those two guys replacing Josh Brown and Chris Lynn, I'm not sure that's like for like. Let's put it that way. So, whereas the Lions recruited brilliantly well, getting Dickwella in halfway through the season, he's made a big difference. He's taken a lot of the pressure off Powdle. So look, I feel for me, I think if you look at the two sides, I think definitely Lumbini's bowling and consistency stronger. And then I just wonder the overseas players, particularly Ruben Trumpel, who's had such a good year. JJ Smith needs to step up a bit, needs to find some runs in the final. But yeah, look, I think for me, it's going to be a grandstand finish. I think when you've got Irie in a team, you never know quite what's going to happen.
Exactly.
And he hasn't even actually had that good a season. You know, he's got 130, 140 runs, 7, 8 wickets, been a bit expensive with the ball at times. Yeah. He's taken more catches than anyone. He's had 3 direct hit run-outs, but by his standards, that's only okay.
Exactly,
So maybe he'll come to life in the final. And, we had a discussion last night. I hope I'm not giving anything away here with the commentary team. We met yesterday evening because we've got a lot of awards to decide for the end of the tournament. And we're finding it really difficult to pick a player of the tournament, because it's so closely run. Adam Rossington was sensational. Binod Bandari's been magnificent. Sandeep Lamachani was brilliant with the ball throughout the season. Shahab Alam has had a wonderful season. So has Avinash Bahara. But there isn't. Last year it kind of felt cut and clear that it was safe to say bat and ball. This year, well, I think we're going to have to wait for the final to see who it's going to be that'll win not just the player of the tournament, but also that Emoto and Jaku Carr for the domestic player of the tournament. I hope they give me a ride in it.
Okay. I hope that too. Now that you mentioned about the highest run scorer and you talk about Binod Bhandari, there's one thing that I have noticed in this particular league. If I talk about Binod Bhandari and if I talk about Rohit Patel, these players are the top scorer, but their strike rate has not been really very good. How do you see this particular tournament, Nepal Premier League, in terms of strike rate and a typical T20 game?
Yeah, there's a couple of factors to that. So you look at a strike rate and you say 110, 120, 130, and you go, okay, 100 is not enough, 110 is not good, 120 is okay, 130 is starting to get there. But then you've got to look at the run rates throughout the competition. So yes, we had some very high scores earlier in the competition, but we've had 32 games at the same ground. So the scores have trended downwards. So if you consider that 140, 145 is a par score, that makes 120 an exceptional strike rate, So I think you have to gauge these things. There's been some interesting discussion. I saw H.D. Ackerman talking to Mikael about he thinks that Rohit Paudle's not scoring quickly enough, whereas Mikael's saying he's just adjusting to the conditions. I think both points are right. I think the bigger, broader concern for me, I spoke with Carlos about this on air, is that we're not seeing consistent enough scores from any of the Nepalese batters, with the exception of Binod Bandari, who is a wonderful servant, was part of that T20 World Cup back in 2014, but he's 35.
Yeah, right.
And, from what I gather, I'm not sure whether he's going to be in the mix for that T20 World Cup. I'd love to see him there. I think he's a great guy, he's a charismatic guy. But he's been quite outspoken in the press. He said, it doesn't matter if I score 500 runs in the Nepal Premier League, I'm not going to get selected. And maybe they don't want to go back that way, but look, he's been the best batter domestically for a reason. Other players have played well in fits and starts. Kushal Patel started with 250s, Irie struck it over 140. Ishan Pandey's played some really good knocks. I know he only got a 20, but young Santosh Yadav, I think, is a very big, bright future. Bim Sharkey probably played the knock of the tournament from a Nepali batter perspective with that rapid 50. But nobody's doing it again and again. The only one who is Powdle, and he's getting 20, 30, 40 every time.
Yeah, right.
He's yet to make a 50 this year. Sure. The Lions have made 150 this season.
Exactly, I was seeing that.
Incredible.
Crazy.
So, look, I think it's probably a case of the Lions bowling attack against the Royals batting attack. But bear in mind, maybe the Royals are the best bowler in the tournament in Harmeet Singh.
Yeah, Harmeet Singh has been great. Okay, so now that you talked about T20 cricket and it's just around the corner, how difficult is this for selectors? Because when we look at Nepal Premier League and when we look at Nepal cricket team, it has been said that Nepal, more or less, they play the same player over the years, and then comes Nepal Premier League. It gives you Ishan Pandey, it gives you various other players, it gives you Abhinav Bohra back in the form. Bashir Ahmed is there. There are plenty of players. How do you see, and who exactly, according to you, are 2-3 players who have a very good chance to come in T20 World Cup squad?
Look, firstly, the T20 World Cup is so exciting. The draw is incredible for Nepal to get England, to get the West Indies, to get Italy, to get Bangladesh. Wonderful. I wish they got games in Chennai or in Kolkata, where I think they'd have more realistic chances of winning against full members. Mumbai is going to be very difficult. It's flat. It's incredibly small ground. The outfield's quick. It's high scoring. That isn't necessarily going to suit Nepal. Whereas, God, if they're in Chennai or in Kolkata or even Delhi to a certain extent, I think they'd have a better chance. The issue with the names you're mentioning, I love Bashir Ahmed as a cricketer. I'd love to see him in the ODI team. I don't think he's done enough in this Nepal Premier League to be in the T20 World Cup mix. He'd be in the discussion, but what did he made 160, which was probably the innings of the tournament alongside alongside Bim Sharkies from a Nepali batting perspective, but he didn't do it again and again.
But sorry to interrupt you here, but the one who did it, he said, no matter how much I score, I won't be selected.
Well, that's Binod Bandari.
Yeah. And then the other side, there are players who are not scoring consistently, and that's where the headache comes for selectors.
It does, but for me, the incumbents are the incumbents for a reason. The incumbents are the best players in the country. Kushal Bertel, Asif Sheikh, Rohit Paudel, Gulshan Jad actually had a very good tournament. He was massively underutilised by the Pernali Yaks. These guys are the best batters in the country for a reason. Jora's done enough to certainly hold the edge of his place. Kushal Malla, I still think in T20 cricket is a massive X-factor player. So I don't think anybody, from a bowling perspective, you could argue Avinash Bahar, you could argue Shahab Alam, although he was the reserve in the squad in Oman for the qualifier. Raj Banshi's had a difficult time, but I would still think that he holds the edge. You get a lot of discourse on social media in Nepal. I understand it's massive. I love it. I love reading all of it, but I think you can't get carried away that because Asif Sheikh made 2 ducks in the tournament that he's got to be dropped. He's still the best gloveman in the country. He should still open the batting. The only one who may be threatened for me, and again he was in the squad in Oman, was Lokesh Bam. And I think he's been unlucky from an international perspective because he's tended to be used at 6, 7, 8. And that is so difficult. You come in for 5 to 10 balls. But he showed, I think it was the 3rd match of the tournament, he made 72. He showed his quality. I think he's learnt a lot from Martin Guptill from Faf WC. But again, when Faf came in, then he got shuffled down the order. So, it's not easy, but I could see a place, depends upon the next 6 weeks, where it's Lokesh Bam opening the batting and maybe someone else drops down to 3, but I do like Paudel at 3 in T20 cricket. I think we'll see, I would anticipate at least 12 of the 15 names on T20 World Cup squad. For India, will be the 12 of the 15 from Oman. We might have 1 or 2 surprises, but I don't think there's going to be anyone from a really left field aspect.
Okay, I mean, definitely it's a head scratcher when we talk about these players. Not that we have talked about every player. There's this one player which has become a headline, that's Sher Malla. How do you see him with T20 World Cup around the corner? Do you think he has that edge to be there?
Yeah, look,
remembering that Mumbai is not that kind of pitch, which will help Malla a lot.
He offers a point of difference. He does something different. Mystery spin is a massive thing in T20 cricket. I like the kid. I like him a lot. He's full of confidence. He backs himself unbelievably. There's no shortage of confidence. I'll be honest, I think he needs to get fitter. I think he needs to get stronger. I think if you compare him to the cut of Kushal Bertel, Dipender Singh Airi, Rohit Paudel, these guys, they are physically incredibly fit, and that has to be the brand that Nepal have to play. They have to outfield their opposition, they have to outrun them between the wickets, they have to have 100. And Malla took one incredible catch this season, but it was a bit of a fluke. He kind of threw his body to the right and managed to cling on. He can bat a bit, but again that needs to get better. And I think his brilliance is his X factor and his wicket taking ability, but he does bowl a lot of bad balls in spells. And we saw that even against who was that against? The Kings, where he got the big wicket of Faf du Plessis, and then
a couple of days back.
Got a little bit overexcited by that. Started dropping short, and Hazlett took him to pieces. So, look, I think he's wonderfully talented. I think it's fantastic. There's a mystery spinner. I think his control of his carom ball. He only bowls carom balls to the right-handers, bowls off breaks to the lefties. And I'm saying this as a fan of his, but if I had his potential and I look back at my own career, I would be every 6 days of the week now. I'd be in the gym. I would be getting shredded because you have the cricketing ability. Don't just focus on your skills. You've got to get to the benchmark of the other players in that team. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good culture to have. I'd say the same about Avinash Bahar. He's much fitter than he was. He's having a good season as a consequence. And I don't think Stuart Law is going to pick guys who aren't fit. That's not saying he's not fit. He is fit, but he's not quite at the condition. And again, it's not easy because he's only earning an NPL salary. It's not easy to be a full-time cricketer. But look, I think very talented. Will it be the T20 World Cup he gets his go? I'm not so sure. But there's no doubt he's going to play for Nepal in the near future, you would hope. And he's, great story as well.
Okay. I know you have a busy schedule, and thank you so much for this time. Just a few
Grand final day.
Grand final day.
Super Saturday number 4.
To end this.
Yeah, please, man.
One player to watch for today from both teams.
Yeah, look, I've been so impressed by the young leg spinner, Tilak Raj Bandari. And I'll be honest, I'm a massive advocate of Rohit Paudel's captaincy, but I think he was poorly captained for the first 3 or 4 games. He's been brilliantly captained since then. There was a game in which, I'm not going to remember which game, I think it was the last game the Lions lost before they got on this 5-game winning run, where they batted first and made, I don't know, 150, and we actually thought it was a good score at the halfway stage. He didn't bowl Tilak Rajbandari till the 17th over.
He brought him very late.
He's such a talented leg spinner. He's consistent, and since then it's been completely different. And it was remarkable he'd only taken 3 wickets up until that second qualifier game a couple of days ago. And then he got his reward. He got 3 for, could have had 4 for. He's had a few catches dropped off his bowling, but to have an economy rate in the competition of, I think it's 5.68 for a leg spinner who's what, 1920?
Yeah.
Phenomenal. If I had control like that when I was younger, my God, the sky's the limit for him. Still got a few little technical things I'd love to work with him on and get a bit more use of that front arm. He's got a good googly though. He's a good field. When you talk about conditioning, he is conditioned. Yeah, so he's a good fielder. Can bat a little bit down the order. So I'd keep an eye on Tilak Rajbandari, and then look. I can't say anyone but Irie for the Royals. I just lie and say someone else.
Right.
You can't stop watching him. He's amazing. He really is. And I think what's so exciting for Dipender Singh Irie and this league and where cricket's going in Nepal, you need heroes, you need stars to help kind of catapult things to the next level. And for me, Irie is becoming that man who is becoming so synonymous and associated with cricket in Nepal that it's almost, I don't know, it's like Beckham with England football or Messi with Argentinian soccer or whatever, Johnny Wilkins with England rugby. It's, when you think of Nepali cricket, you think of Irie. And you think of his speed, his fielding, his intensity, his Gorkhali spirit, you know, the tiger, the bag, bag. It's brilliant. And actually, it was great. I got about 90 minutes with him the other night at a sponsor event. Everyone else had left, and just 3 or 4 of us at the end. And I said to him, I have one thing I want you to do. I said, I never ask anything of you. I never do for anything. I said, just please get me 1 direct hit against England. England being my oldest enemy as an Irishman, that day for me is going to be very special. And even if Nepal don't win, I know it will be an outrageous ask for them to win. I just want the wider English journalists and cricketing world to be awakened to how brilliant, not just Irie is, but all of the Nepali players. And I think a trademark Dipender Singh Irie direct hit run out of some English batter who, you know, works it into the offside, it says 1 and jogs it. And the shock on Joss Butler's face or Phil Salt's face. That's what I want to see. That's my give me that Christmas present, Dipender. I'll take it with open arms.
I'll take this clip out and I'll wait for that moment so that I can put it up.
It's going to happen. I promise
you. Will you be there in the box?
Well, oh God, I don't know about that, but I remember someone asked me in July, would Nepal beat the West Indies, and I said yes. So I'm sticking with that prediction. I stuck with that prediction. I'm going to stick with this one. Irie to get at least 1 direct hit run out against England at the Wankhede. I'm not sure Nepal will win. I don't think they will. I think it'll be far too big an ask. But they'll announce themselves to the world.
If that happens, this is going to go viral that time. I'm going to take this clip separately for that. Okay, pick one team and we'll finish this. Who looks good on the pitch today?
Look, Royal, like I said, Royals favourites. I really would love a good game. For all the brilliance of this tournament, we've had 31 matches so far. We've probably had 2 absolute thrillers. For cricket in Nepal, and it's trademark, it's DNA, it's drama. Right. You'd expect 5, 6, 7. Correct. Maybe even 8 or 9. But let's have one in the final. And it's so important, the final, because it's the lasting memory for everyone of the tournament. I always think of that 2019 ODI World Cup in England, right? I'll be honest, that was a bad tournament. It was the first one ever reduced to 10 teams. Halfway through the group stages, it rained for, I think, 6 of 7 games at one point were either abandoned or interrupted significantly by rain. There was 6 or 7 dead rubbers at the end of the group stages, which then went to a semi-final and a final. But we had a brilliant upset in the semi with New Zealand beating India in very dramatic circumstances. And then we maybe had the greatest final in the history of cricket. So everyone now thinks that 2019 World Cup and goes, God, wasn't that brilliant? So we need a good final, we deserve a good final, because everything off the pitch has been unbelievable. The fans, you guys, I am constantly blown away by this place. But this year has been to a level I didn't even think was possible. And if you look at my phone over there, I have had thousands, I'm not exaggerating, of direct messages asking to get to the final tickets. The demand was, they sold it out in 2 minutes. Exactly. So, you know, the fans have made the Festival of the Himalayas what it is. Gigantic success. We deserve a good final. I hope we have a good final, and I really don't care who wins. I just want it to be close.
Exactly. So I think a lot of Nepal fans would have the same opinion, that they don't care who wins, because it's Irie versus Rohit Patel. They want a good final.
Tell people from Sudurpaschim that. God, they are passionate. So are the Lumbini fans as well.
Right,
Two great sets of fans actually.
There's something about yellow jersey.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
CSK, Australia, Sudurpaschim.
We're going off topic for 10 seconds, but I saw this fantastic clip online of somebody in a Sudurpaschim Royals in the crowd, and then someone gave them the Baratnagar one for the semi-final. They put it on. Some of the colour, the signs, the outfits, the Dhaka topis. I'll have my Dhaka topi on, and I've got a surprise for you in the post-match. Big surprise in the post-match. I'm going to look. I would never say this. I'm going to look resplendent.
Resplendent.
Absolutely resplendent. I am no model. I'm the opposite. But I think today's the day.
Okay, so let's see who wears whose jersey today, whether the Sudurpaschim wins or the Rohit Padel's Lumbini, because they have been tremendous. But whoever wins, Nepal eventually will reach to the height we have never expected would happen in the second season. Thank you so much for your time. It has been wonderful talking to you, and I'll be bothering you in the future again.
Mate, anytime. Quick message. Give this guy a follow. He does so much good stuff for cricket in Nepal. Farouk, I don't know what channels, just give him a follow. He's a great guy to have around. And I nearly bankrupted him. I said, you have to come to Nepal. You cannot not come to Nepal. So it's great to have him here. I'm sure you'll see him around the ground as well. One of the great men supporting the associate game. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It means a lot. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Thank you.
Cheers, brother. Cheers.